Good morning, students. How are you all? So, today we are here to start up our next chapter from the part of definitely economics because we are pursuing our economics now. So, this is kind of last chapter that we are going to discuss down in this book. As the name of the chapter is food security in India. As in the previous chapter you had already came to know about the poverty as a challenge. So poverty is considered as a challenge, and the people who live below the poverty line is definitely face down the problem of malnutrition and undernourishment. So definitely, just to remove all such kind of problems, the food security is very much mandatory in our country. So what does the food security represent? The food security means availability, accessibility and affordability of food to all the people, as food security depends on the public distribution system by the government and the government vigilance and actions of the time which this threaten the security. Okay, so what is included in that? The food must be reachable to all the people. It is not like that we have a food but we are not able to supply the food to the people who actually need the food, or the people who is very much mandatory in the need of that particular food. So what is food security? As when we discuss about the food security, we have to discuss down the three dimension. The food security is actually very essential by checking out it from the three dimensions are the availability of food, as it means that food production within the country, that foods are available in our country. The availability of food is representing the foods are must be available in our country in a full stock. Okay, the second one is accessibility. What does accessibility means? That every person, each and every person who is facing the problem of malnutrition or who is below the poverty line, whosoever need this food can able to access, can able to reach that food very easily. And the third one is representing the affordability. So what does affordability means? Affordability implies that an individual has enough money to buy sufficient and safe food to meet one's dietary needs. So definitely affordable, one can able to afford that food. It is not like the price of the food is too much high and we are not able to afford. So definitely the food security does not mean anything if we are charging a lot of price from the poor people, they are not able to afford it. So definitely what you got from this, the food security has three dimensions. The first dimension is representing the availability of food. The second dimension is representing the accessibility of food, and the third one is representing the affordability of food, as food is affordable by each and every people, whether he is poor or whether he is rich. So food security is ensured in country only if enough food are available for all the persons. All the persons have the capacity to buy of accepted quality, and there is no barrier on the excess of food. It is not like that we start restricting the people who are quite poor, that you does not have the right to eat this food because you are belonging to a particular caste, you are belonging to a particular creed. So definitely this kind of practices must not be included in the India. Okay, so moving further, now why food security is very much necessary, why there is a need of food security. We came to know about the food security. What is actually the food security? That food security means something more than getting 2 square meals. Okay, so something more than getting 2 square meal is representing the food security. But why there is a need of food security? The reason behind that is, in India, number of people are there who are living below the poverty line, and sometimes what happens that in India as well, we just check out number of time or we face number of problems like natural calamities there, drought condition happen sometime. What happen in that? So the drought conditions created down sometimes in our country. So what happened in that particular problem when we are facing any kind of natural disaster or natural calamities, that is like earthquake, drought is there, flood is there, tsunami is there. So definitely at that particular time there is a failure of crop. The crops are no longer be available in that particular region, and definitely that causes famine. The people are not getting the food in the sufficient amount, like the people who are living in a problematic area or the area that is actually faced the natural calamities. Those people have difficulty in finding the food. Okay, so definitely the food security is very much mandatory, because we are unaware whatever the situation is, whatever is going to be faced down by our country. So if I talk about the starvation, a massive starvation might take down out of the famine, might take a turn to the famine. So famine is characterized by the widespread death due to the starvation of epidemics caused by forced use of contaminant water or decaying food, loss of body resistance due to the weakening of the starvation. And the main famine which is being faced down by India in 1943 is of famine of Bengal. After that we came to know that it is very much mandatory that we think on this particular issue, because the people are dying just because of starvation, just because of famine. They don't have a food to eat, they don't have a food to satisfy their need. Actually they are facing a lot of problem just because of this famine, and still they are not getting the food. So it create a bad impact and it create a lot of problem for the citizens of India. So we started thinking on the storage of food or the security of food in India. And do you know who were affected the most by the famine at that time period? The agriculture labor were there, the fishermen were there, transportation workers are there, casual labor workers who are affected the most, and domestically increase in the price of rice. There were one who died in this famine, because these people are the one who does not get lot of profit, who does not result in getting lot of income in a particular day. They are only earning with a lot, after the lot of work or lot of the efforts, only a meal for a day. So it is very much difficult for these kind of a people like laborers, fishermen, transport worker, casual laborers to pay high prices for the rice, because there is a shortage of rice. The people are unable to get the food. So these are the main problem which is being faced mainly by the poor people. So if I talk about in 1970 what happens, food security was understood as availability at all times of adequate supply of basic food stuff, as it is very much mandatory that food security must be related with the concept that the foods are available throughout the country whenever we need that food. Okay, so it is not like that we are needing the food in present time period, but we are getting the food after 2 or 3 years. So definitely that doesn't mean anything. So availability means that we can able to get the supply of food whenever we needed that. And in 1995 what happened, the World Food Summit declared food security as at the individual, household, religion, national and global level exist when all the people at all the times have physical and economic access to sufficient food, sufficient, safe and nutritious food to meet the dietary needs and food preferences. So the World Food Summit declared that the food security is only related with the concept, or achievement of the concept is only related with when every people whosoever needed the food can economically, physically got the, or mentally got the sufficient amount of food just to satisfy their basic need, and that food must be sufficient, safe and nutritious one. And if the food is not kind of nutritious one, the food is not that much important or that much beneficial for the people, as it does definitely result in the poverty eradication as well. As we had already discussed down, that poverty is the main cause of the people in India are facing a lot of poverty, or there are a lot of people who are living below the poverty line. So food security help those people as well with the help of public distribution system. So what is included in the public distribution? The food are distributed to the people at the lower price than the market price. Okay, so moving further, now we are going to understand. Here you can able to see the production of rice in the province of Bengal. So in 1938 the production is 85, no import, no export, total availability is 85 ton. And if I talk about that the production is 1943, it is 76 only, as in 1942 it is around 93, and but now it is 76, and we have to import the rice from other countries as well, that is 3, and total one is considered as 79. So here in the picture you can able to see the problem of starvation, the people who are victim of starvation, and the the people who are victim of Bengal famine in 1943. This is the picture. You can able to see how pathetic life of the people are there in such kind of a problems. So moving further, as the India had already seen down such kind of a problems, that is famine of Bengal, we can able to say in 1943. So after that India came to know that there is a necessity to storage of the food, but after that, after the Bengal famine, nothing can be happened again in India. But if I talk about the distribution of food, and there is definitely the places like Kalahandi and Kashipura in Orissa, where famine like conditions are also existing in our country, because starvation is there, poverty is there, the people are still dead just because of the food. The starvation deaths are also reported down in Baran district of Rajasthan, Palau district of Jharkhand, and many other remote area during the recent year. So definitely food security is needed in our country to ensure food to all the times. The food is available to all the times. Okay, who are mainly the food insecure? The second question is definitely who are mainly the food insecure? Who are the people we considered as a food insecure? So definitely what are the main people? Who are the main people which are considered in this area is landless people who does not have a land, or who have a little amount of a land, or we can able to say the people who are daily wagers, are the workers definitely, and the other people who are engaging themselves in the seasonal activities, like they are getting the work for some times and after that they are not getting the work for other of the months. So here is the story of Ramu given. So what is included in the story? So Ramu worked as a casual laborer in agriculture in Raipur village. So definitely if I talk about the Ramu, his elder son is there. The name of the elder son is Somu, who is of 10-year-old, and he is also working in the Pali. What he is doing, that he is looking after the cattle of the Sarpanch of the village, that is Satpal Singh. Sonu is employed for the whole year, but he is getting only 1,000 for the work. And Ramu, if I talk about, has 3 sons and 2 daughters, but they too are so young that they are not able to work in the field. His wife is there, Sunhari is there, so she is also doing a part-time job as a house cleaner. She is cleaning the house of the people, but with this work she is only able to get a half-liter milk or some cooked food or vegetables to eat down. This is all what she got after working in the people's house. Okay, so beside that, if I talk about the workers in the field along with the husband in the busy season supplement his earning, agriculture being a seasonal activity employed Ramu only during the time of sowing, transplantation and harvesting. He remains unemployed after the 4 months. Only the 4 months earning is there of Ramu, that is agricultural one. After that the season has gone down and he is not able to earn a lot. By all his efforts, Ramu is able to earn enough either in cash or kind of him by essential of 2 square meals of the family. So definitely for 4 months now Ramu is able to manage the meal for the family, but after that their family members are facing a lot of problem just because of seasonal unemployment, but just because of seasonal activity. Seasonal unemployment is representing that a person is getting the work for a particular season, but after or once the season passed down, he is not getting the work again. So moving further, the another story is also given here. The story is of Ahmad. So Ahmad is a rickshaw puller. So you can able to understand a rickshaw puller how much he is able to earn. So if I talk about the family of the Ahmad, so he was shifted from the Jhumri Talai along with his 3 brothers and 2 sisters and all parents. So he is the only one who is earning down. So definitely the survival with a lot of family for a rickshaw puller is very difficult for him. So as it is not a secured employment, once a day Ahmad happened to earn a lot of money, but in other day if I talk about, he is unable to satisfy the basic necessities as well. So because the work is not the limited one or not the prescribed one, so definitely the wages are also not prescribed how much he is being earned down. But the main benefit what does the Ahmad had, the Ahmad has a yellow card which is PDS card, that is for the below poverty line people. This card is actually being issued by the government that the people who are below the poverty line get the sufficient quantity of wheat, rice and kerosene oil for daily use. So whenever the whenever the ration shop open down, so these below poverty people go there and get their material from them, and they are getting the material at a very low price. Okay, so the main PDS cards or yellow cards are being made by the government. So now there is blue cards are as well, that is also representing the people who are below poverty line. And the people who are below poverty line goes to the ration shop whenever they are being opened down and get their ration at a low price from the market. This is actually very much beneficial for the people who are not able to pay a lot of money in the market. So moving further, if I talk about the social composition along with the inability to buy food also play a role in the food insecurity. So the SC is there, ST is there, OBC is there, who have either poor land base or very low land productivity are prone of the food insecurity, because they are landless people. Mainly these people are considered as a landless people, or the people who are just considered as a very low land for the productivity, so they are considering below this. So moving further, if I talk about, they are the one who is a victim of malnutrition. So just to remove down this malnutrition, we have a security for the food as well. So the malnutrition is also being affected the women a lot. Whenever the women is affecting with the malnutrition, it is considered down that his children is also being affected down that. So the children who is below the age of 5 years, it is very much mandatory to give them a sufficient amount of a food to sufficient amount of a calories, so that they are not being a victim of malnutrition or they are not being a victim of undernourishment. So according to the National Health and Family Survey 1998-99, the maximum number of such women and children are approximately 11 crores. So you can able to understand around 11 crore women and children are there. That is just an approx data. We don't have a correct data, just an approx data we can able to consider as this much. So you are able to understand how much problem is being faced down by the people. Along with the social division, that is SC, ST or OBC, there are some economically backward people as well, or we can able to say that there are some economically backward state as well. So which includes the Uttar Pradesh is there, eastern and the southeastern part, Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and the Maharashtra account on the number of large food insecurity people in the country. So definitely it is very much mandatory to meet down with the basic amenities of the life, and one of them is the food. When the people start getting the sufficient amount of food, only then our India is considered to be a completely developed, because the people are facing from the poverty, they are facing from the lot of problem, they are facing from unemployment, sometime the natural disaster occur down in our area, so tribals are there. So to protect all such kind of a people from the getting low amount of food, we need this food security, as hunger is considered as a first indicator of food insecurity. Hunger is not just an expression of poverty, it brings about the poverty. Hunger is the one which is creating down the poverty as well, because a person who is not able to get the sufficient amount of food, he don't have the capacity to work hard for a day-to-day activities. So there are definitely two types of hunger. The first one is representing the chronic hunger, but the second one is considered as a seasonal hunger. So what is chronic hunger and what is seasonal hunger? Chronic hunger means that on the regular basis a person is earning less amount of money and he is facing the problem of hunger. The poor people mainly suffer from the chronic hunger because of their very low income, in turn of instability, inability to buy even the food for their survival. So the person, mainly the poor people who came under this, are facing down the chronic hunger. And if I talk about the seasonal hunger, so what is included in the seasonal hunger? Seasonal hunger is representing that if I talk about a farmer or a person who is working as on an agriculture basis, so what happened with them, who have a mainly small patches of land. So what happened with them actually, like they are growing the seed, they are growing the harvesting season, they have a particular season for the growing of the seed, and once the season passed down, like the season is for 3 to 4 months mainly, and once the season passed down, they don't have a work to do. So definitely those people are facing down seasonal hunger, because on those season they are getting the wages for their work, but once the season passed down, they are unable to get the wages down. Okay, so here is the table given, the percentage of household with the hunger in India. The type of hunger we had already discussed down is seasonal and chronic. So in rural area is representing the people who are living in the villages, and urban area is representing the people who are living in the cities. So rural area, if I talk about, in 1983 seasonal hunger is 16.2 and chronic is 2.3, that is 18.5% is there, and 1993-1994 4.2 is seasonal hunger and chronic is reduces down to 0.9, that is 5.1. And if I talk about 1999 to 2000, 2.6 is the seasonal hunger and chronic is 0.7, that is total is only 3.3%. And if I talk about the urban area, so it reduces down in the urban area as well. In 1983 the amount of seasonal hunger is 5.6 and the chronic is 0.8, that is 6.4. In 1993 to 1994 1.1 is a seasonal hunger and the chronic is 0.5 and the total is just 1.6%. In 1999 to 2000 the seasonal is 0.6 and the chronic is considered to be the 0.3 and the total is considered to be the 0.9. So the percentage of the seasonal as well as chronic hunger we can able to search out from the diagram, we can able to search out from this tabular presentation that the problem has, or the percentage of both the hunger started declining in our country. So the main aim of our country is self-sufficiency in the food grain. Self-sufficiency in the food grain is representing that they have this much amount of food grains that it is quite easy to give all the people who are living in the India. After independence we had adopted number of policies to meet down this food insecurity, or just to overcome this food insecurity and bring in the result of food security. And if you are aware, I think we had already discussed down in the previous chapter that we adopted new strategies as well just to increase down the agriculture production, that is rice and wheat, and that is known as green revolution. So Indira Gandhi, then the Prime Minister of India, is officially recorded down the impressive stride of the green revolution in agriculture by releasing the special stamp. And what does special stamp representing the wheat revolution in July 1968. The success of wheat was further replicated with the rice. Replicated is representing, it is representing the same or to copy down. Okay, so represent the highest rate of growth was achieved in the Punjab and Haryana, where food grain production jumped from 7.23 million tons in 1964-65, and now in 2009 and 10 it is around 218 million tons. Okay, so the production in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Orissa and the northern eastern states continue to be staggered down. Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh on the other hand recorded significant increase in the rice yield. So definitely after the green revolution we achieved the main motive which whatsoever we are doing, we are practiced from lot many years, that we just want to increase down our production, and with the help of the green revolution, with the help of the modern technology, with the help of HYV seeds or the modern tractors or the irrigation facilities, we can able to achieve this target. Okay, so moving further, now we are going to discuss down about the food security in India. So as the name of the chapter is quite similar to this, the food security in India. So the same concept that we are going to discuss down is here. Since the advent of the green revolution in early 870s, the country has avoided famine even during the adverse weather condition. We had already faced down the famine of Bengal, and with the help of green revolution the country tried to remove down this kind of a problem from our country, and we won't face that situation again in any circumstances, whether the might the weather condition is very much bad, but we are not facing all such kind of a problem again. So India has become a self-sufficient in the food grains during the last 30 years because of variety of crops are available over the country. The availability of food is there, accessibility of food is there, and the approachability of food is, or affordability of food is also there. So the system has further two components. The government has started down the system that is related with the food security. So this system has a two component. The first one is representing the buffer stock, and the second one is representing the public distribution system. So from the name you can able to understand what does this mean, buffer stock. So it is definitely related down with the stock. So we are storing the food for the future use. So stock is representing like we are storing down anything. So now we are discussing down about the food security. So definitely buffer stock is representing that we stock the food grains for the future use, and the second one is representing the public distribution system. So what does this means? The public distribution, from the name is, it is quite clear to you as well. So what is included in this, that the food are distributed among the public. So here in the tabular presentation as well you can able to see that we are eligible to meet the, or we are able to increase down the production of food grains in India. Like if I talk about in 1960 to 61, this is around 50 to 55%, but in 2009 2010 it is above 200%. So definitely we are able to increase down this production. So moving further, now we are going to discuss down in detail about the buffer stock and public distribution system. So what is included in that? A buffer stock is a stock of food grain, namely wheat and rice, produced by the government through Food Corporation of India. So Food Corporation of India is actually working as So how is the Food Corporation of India worked down, or we can able to say an FCI. FCI is representing the Food Corporation of India. Okay, so what is the functioning or how they are working down? So FCI purchases wheat and rice from the farmers in the state where there is a surplus production. Surplus production is representing an excessive amount of production. So whenever they face that any of the farmer or any of the area of a state have a surplus production, they bought the wheat from there, they purchased down the wheat from them, and before purchasing that, whenever like before the sowing season, they announces the price, that this is the price which is being given by the government to the farmer for selling their wheat or rice. So this price is also known as minimum support price. So definitely what is included in this, the farmers came to know about the price, at how much price they are going to sell their wheat and before the sowing season. So definitely they start producing the wheat according to that minimum price support which is being determined by the government. And do you know why this buffer stock is created by the government? Why there is a need to create down the buffer stock? So we all are aware with the fact, as we had already discussed down, why the food security is mandatory. So definitely the buffer stock is a part of food security. So why the buffer stock is created by the government? Whenever we faced any kind of natural calamity, whenever we faced any kind of a problem which is very much sudden or very much natural, we are not able to prepare ourselves for that purpose. So definitely we use these buffer stock for that purpose. And even the people are there who are living below the poverty line in our India got this food as well. So further the government give the food to the people at a very low price, or we can able to say at a lower price than the market price, and this price is also known as issue price. So they are getting the food at a very low price, and even in the market the same food is selling at a high rate. So the issue price is given to the people who are below the poverty line. Moving further, the next one is representing what is public distribution. So as buffer stock, we already aware with that the stock is being kept by the Food Corporation of India to just check out whenever we need that stock, we can able to use that, whether it is natural calamity is there, weather condition is going worst, or something is not in favor of particular area or a particular state. So the Food Corporation help them with this buffer stock. But if I talk about the public distribution system, so what is included in this? The distribution is given to a food distribution is going to the people. A fair price shops was there. Fair price shop means a minimum price is taken from the people who are below poverty lines. A special card is made for those people, that is known as BPL cards, representing a below poverty line. These people are free to go to the ration shops whenever they are being opened down, and they got their food from there, like wheat they are getting from there, dals or pulses are getting from there. So all such materials are being given to the people who are live under the poverty line. Here also mentioned down, food grains to given to them, sugars are given to them, kerosene oil are given to them for the cooking purposes. So these families are those families which are not able to buy the things from the shops, because the prices from the shops are very much high. So they are using their ration card for getting their ration. So ration card example is given, 35 kg of grains is given, 5 liter of kerosene is given, 5 kilograms of sugar is given every month from the nearby shop, so that their survival became quite simple and quite relatable. So there are mainly 3 kinds of ration cards. So ration cards are quite clear to you from the cards from which we can able to buy the ration from the shops. So there are 3 kinds of ration card. The first one is BPL card. The second one is BPL card is representing the below poverty line, and the second one is Antyodaya card for the poorest of the poor, who are very much poor. That for that person they have this particular card, and the little bit people who are come in any other category, they have an APL card. Okay, so moving further, now we are going to discuss down about rationing, why rationing is mandatory in India, why there is a need of ration shops, and what are the main problems which is being faced down by the people, and from where we got this concept. So definitely if I talk about the introduction of rationing in India, date backs to 1940 against the backdrop of the Bengal famine. As we had already discussed down in the previous pages, that there is a Bengal famine in 1940s and India has to face a lot of problems. So the main problem is that the acute shortage of the food. So definitely just to remove this problem, in 1960 what they did the Green Revolution. They main focused on the Green Revolution. A revolutionary act was being created down there. So what happened in that, the various schemes are being started by the government after that just to feed the people properly. Midday meals are being provided to them. So integrated child development scheme is started down there. Food for work, FFW, is being introduced in 1977 to 78. So such kind of a programs is being started by the government just to eradicate is representing just to reduce the poverty, or just to provide people a sufficient amount of food. So what such programs also include PDS, public distribution system, that we had discussed earlier, and midday meals, etc. Midday meals is actually given to the students mainly. It is considered down just to increase the enrollment of the students in the school, in the government school particularly. The government is providing them the midday meals, because in the government school mainly majority of the students came from the poor family, and they just came to the school just because of the poverty, just because they are unable to get the food properly. So the government started the midday meals in the school, that the student whosoever came to the school get their meal in the school. So these are the main steps which is being taken by the government. And even rationing system is also helping the people, because the people who are unable to get the things from the market at a very high price, they are getting the things at a very issue price. That is, issue price is representing a very low price, so that they can able to survive well and get a food at fuller extent. Moving further, here is National Food for Work program is given. So what is included in this? So National Food for Work program is definitely, if I talk about, launched on November 14, 2004 in around 150 backward districts. So what is included in this? It is implemented as 100% centrally sponsored scheme, and the food grains are provided to the states free of cost, just to help the people who are living below the poverty line. And if I talk about in 2004 and 5, rupees 20 crores have been allotted to the program, in addition to 20 lakh tons of food grains. Food grains are already given to the states, and along with that, this much amount is already given to the states, so that they can able to increase up the level of the state, or they can able to meet the basic requirements which is done or which is demanded by the people who are living in that state. So moving further, now we are going to understand about the current status of PDS. PDS is representing the public distribution system. A distribution system is included here. So what is included in the PDS? In the beginning, the coverage of PDS was a universal with no discrimination between the poor and non-poor. And how they started down the PDS system, public distribution system, they won't check out whether the person is poor or unpoor. A minimum amount products are given to each and every people. But after revising it or making it more efficient and targeted one, in 1992, what happened in the public distribution system, it became an rapid public distribution, that is RPDS, and introduced around 1700 blocks of the country. The target of this is mainly providing the food to the people who are below the poverty line or who are belonging to the backward class, just to create the equality. Like if the richer people getting the food at the low prices, it is definitely not used for them. So what is actually useful for the country, what is actually welfare, result in the welfare of the people of the country, is definitely when the poor people get the sufficient amount of food. And the main principle that they are targeting down is poor in all areas. So they are providing the food, they are distributing the food with the help of ration shops to the poor people who are living in that particular area. So various ration shops are there nearby the locality of your house as well, if you check out once. So definitely you can able to see the ration shop at each and every place of our country. So further two schemes are launched down in 2000 just to check out all such kind of distribution, or to give the distribution equal at equal target. So first one is representing AAY, at the second one is representing the Anpurna scheme, that is APS. Okay, so the special target is definitely poorest of the poor, the people who are so much poor or who are not able to get the things from the market. The main focus of the scheme is definitely goes to only those people, or that also indicates some senior citizens as well, so who are facing the problem that is related with the money. So here is the data given, tabular presentation is given, some important features that the PDS is focused on. Name of the scheme is definitely PDS, RPDS, TPDS, AAY and APS. These are the scheme which is being started by the government. Year of introduction is already written here. What are the main target is already given here. APS is focusing on the indigent senior citizens. Okay, so moving further, latest volume, how much they are supplied down or produced down is given here, and price issue. So you can able to say as per kg, wheat is just 2.34 rupees. So rice is just 2.89, but in the market, if I talk about the prices, very much high. So as we had discussed down here, so you can able to check out the table for a complete clarification of the concept. Just read the table once. After that you came to know that which scheme is working for which sector or for which block. So moving further, some important features of PDS includes the PDS has proved to be the most effective instrument of the government policy over the year in stabilizing price and making food available to the consumer at an affordable price. The second one is representing it has been an instrumental in adversing widespread hunger and famine by supplying food for surplus regions of the country to deficit one. So whatsoever we found a surplus amount of a food has an area, so we just PDS is taking the food from that area and supply to the one in that state, particular state where there is a deficit amount of the food. In addition, the price have been under revision in favor of the poor household in general. So definitely the price is determined by checking out whether the poor people can able to afford that or not. The system include the minimum support price, and procurement has contributed to increase in food grain production and provide income security for the farmer in the certain regions. Okay, so moving further, what is included as PDS we are discussing down public distribution system. Still there are many problems in this system, or we are facing a lot of failure in this system. The reason behind that, so if I talk about the food grains which is being stored under this is very much high. So definitely when there is a high amount of food is being stored down in the godowns, their problem arises, there is rotting away, or the rats will be eaten down all the food. So similarly we are facing this problem, as FCI had stored lot of amount of food which is not actually essential, because we are storing the food for the things or for the situation which is very sudden. So if we are not able to face down this situation, or like you can able to understand from this table, this diagrammatic presentation as well, 4.2. So what is given here? So the FCI only on July 1 they need a stock 41.3. The needed stock is just 24.3, and how much they saved? They have 61.7% stock. And same in July 2, 24.23 is required one, they have 63. July 12, they actually required the 33%, but they stored down 82.3%. So you can able to see how much wastage of food is being done under this system. The food sometime in the market, the people who are getting the food from the market is very high in price. The reason behind a shortage of food. Why there is a shortage of food? Because we have an excessive amount of food in our food grains or in our storehouses. So we store a buffer of stock, we store buffer stock, a lot many stock in our stores. So that is the main reason. And definitely when excessive amount of food is not like na that we can able to protect that food, or we can able to use that food after 20 years, after 30 years. So definitely after some time period the food gets starting the finish down, or they started getting rotting down or rotting away, and the ads will be written those food. So instead of going to any other people, or instead of going to the people, the food wastage is going on with this system. This is the criticism or which is being faced by this. So moving further, the another one is AAY scheme. So this is launched in 2000 December. Anantyodaya Ann Yojana, as it is launched in December 2000. What happened in this scheme? Under this scheme, 1 crore of the poorest among the BPL family covered under the target public distribution will be were identified, and poor families were identified by respective states rural development through the below poverty line. 25 kilograms of food grains were made available to each eligible family at highly subsidy rate, at is 2 rupees per kg, and wheat, that is 3 rupees per kg of rice. The quantity has been enhanced from 25 kg to 35 kgs, that affects from April 2002. So if this scheme has been further expanded twice by addition 50 lakh of BPL families in June 2003, in August 2004, with the increase in 2 crore families which have covered under AAY. So you can able to understand how much people are there in India who needed this kind of system. So definitely this system is quite essential in our country. And if I talk about subsidy, what is subsidy? Subsidy is a payment that a government makes to produce a supplement the market price of the commodity. Subsidy can keep consumer price low while maintaining higher income from the domestic products. Okay. So what is included in this paragraph, as we had already discussed down, that how much buffer stock is undesirable and a wasteful thing, same is repeated down in this paragraph by giving a complete example. Like in July 2012, a stock of wheat and rice with FCI's 82 million ton, which was more than minimum buffer norms, and minimum buffer norms is saying that whatsoever is needed by you is 33 million tons, and they have 82 million tons. So you can able to understand how much wastage of food is going on in our country. Okay, so still there are many countries who are failing the problem to fulfill the basic necessities of the people, or who are failing to send the food to the people at the fuller extent. The increased food grain propagates and enhanced MSP is a result of the pressure exerted by the leading food grain producing states such as Punjab, Haryana, Andhra Pradesh. And if I talk about Punjab and Haryana, we all are aware that they are producing lot of foods, and mainly the crops which are grown in the Punjab, Haryana, West Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh and West Bengal is definitely wheat and rice. As increase in MSP introducing the farmers. Surplus states are there, so they have to produce a food, and those fooders goes to any other countries. The incentive utilization of water in the cultivation of rice has also led to the environmental degradation and fall in water level, threatening the sustainability of agricultural development in the state, as we had already discussed while discussing the green revolution, that when we are using these kind of activities, like we are continuously using a excessive amount of water for the production of these kind of foods, so definitely it does not result in the sustainability. It might possible that in future our agricultural production get threatened down from such kind of activity. So MSP is representing minimum support price. So moving further, if I talk about the average consumption of PDS grain to all India is only 1 kg per person per month. But the average consumption figure, if I talk about in states like Bihar, Orissa and Uttar Pradesh, it is only 300 grams. The poor people are getting only 300 grams per month, and in the Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, the range is around 3 to 4 kilograms per month. So you can able to understand the distribution is not going on properly. As a result, the poor have to dependent on the market at the higher prices. And in the Madhya Pradesh, only 5% of wheat and rye consumption of the poor are met through the ration shops, and in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, the percentage is still lower down. Okay, so moving further, if I talk about, like, we have a ration shops, the poor people have a ration shops, they can able to get the material from the ration shops. But what are the main drawbacks declared here? The PDS declared at sometimes found restoring the malpractices like diverting the grains to the open market. The ration shops are being run by the public. So what they did for the profit maximization, they sold that the product in the market and get the higher prices instead of giving them to the poor people. So the ration shops, what they are doing, they are selling the poor quality product. The ration shops are not open on the regular basis, so the poor people are unable to get the quantity that much they are required. So definitely unhold stock is always met with the ration shops that is of poor quality. So the working of the people in the ration shops are not equally or not properly being done. That is the reason that the poor people are not getting the benefits from this kind of activities. Even the poor people are facing the problems for this as well. So even in today's time period, if I talk about these kind of card distribution, we had discussed down here that the card distribution is being done. So what is included in this card distribution? Like the card distribution, BPL is only for the poor people, but now each and every member of the family or each and every family have these kind of cards, whether they are poor, whether they are not poor. So even the poor people are not able to get the benefits from these kind of schemes. The benefits are still taken by the richer people who can able to afford to buy from the market as well. So these are the main drawbacks which are being faced by the society, or which is being faced under the FCI. So these kind of practices just increasing down the malnutrition or the poor health facilities to the poor people. The poor are becoming more poor in present time period, and richers are becoming more richer because they are getting the product at a lower price from the market price, which is actually made for the poor people. So moving further, the next one is representing, and our last topic is role of cooperatives in food security. So definitely the cooperatives are also making a great role in the food security. The cooperative society set up shops to sell low priced good to the poor people. Mother Dairy is making stride. Stride is representing making a name, a higher name, making stride in provision of milk and vegetable to the consumer at a controlled rate decided by the government of Delhi. And Amul is also there, is another success story of the cooperatives and the milk product of Gujarat. It has a country. So few example we had already discussed, that is Mother Dairy and Amul is there. So similarly in Maharashtra, Academy of Development Science ADS has facilitated network of NGOs for setting up grain banks in different regions. So what they are doing, so ADS is organized training and capacity building programs on the food security of NGO. The gram banks are now slowly taking shape in different part of Maharashtra. Their efforts to set up the bank grains to facilitate the replication through the other NGOs influence the government policies on the food security. The ADS has a food grain program is acknowledged as a successful and innovative food security inventions, because this is system which is being done under the full control. The government control is completely there, so you can able to understand this is very much mandatory to cope up with the people who are poor in our society and do something better for their betterment as well. So hope you are clear with the chapter till here. So now we are completed down our economics. So what we discussed down in today's chapter, we are started down by coming to know about what is food security. So food security is representing availability, accessibility and affordability of food. Why there is a need of food security. Along with that, we came to know that there is a problem of food insecure. So what is the food insecure? So type of poverty or hunger we discussed down. Two types of poverty or hunger is there: chronic hunger or the another one is seasonal hunger. Social composition is being done in our country just for the proper division of the food. Special stamps are being implemented by Indira Gandhi entitled the Wheat Revolution. So food security, why in India food security is necessary? Just because the proper distribution is given to the people whenever it is very much mandatory or whenever it is necessary. Further, we came to know about the buffer stock which is being kept by the Food Corporation of India. Along with that, we came to know about the public distribution system, and further we discussed down about the ration shops, that the working of ration shop is being ensured by the government, but still the ration shops are not working properly. Public distribution system is going on in our country, but that distribution is not actually a genuine one. The public or the poor people are not getting the benefits from that distribution. And at last we came to know about the role of cooperatives in the food security. What is the role of cooperatives in the food security? So hope you are clear with the chapter. So now what you have to do, you have to read down the chapter very well. After watching the video, read it once by yourself and analyze the chapter completely and complete down the exercise which is given at the end of the chapter, and try to solve this exercise by yourself.